see. A service I provide is afterwards I help people up if you need it. I would need it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Kelp Forest Narration and Feeding Program. We'll get started in just a second, but I just want to invite folks to come on in and have a seat. Our program lasts 10 or 15 minutes. A diver comes into the exhibit with food, and we get to ask him questions, and it's a great way to learn more about this kelp forest habitat. So come on in and have a seat. Those of you who are on the stairs, perfect, but stay in the front and make sure there's a good path up and down. And if you wouldn't bunch right at the bottom of the stairs, that would make the fire marshal happier. And those of you who are upstairs, great place to be. Sometimes when we get to the question part of the program, I forget to look up there. So if you got a question for me or the diver, just yell it out, okay? So come on in, we'll get started in just a sec. All right, great. Why don't we go ahead and get started then? Welcome to the Monterey Bay Aquarium and to the Kelp Forest Narration and Feeding Program. My name is Deborah Streeter, and I am a volunteer guide here at the aquarium. Actually, one of almost 1,000 volunteers here at the aquarium. A great place to volunteer. We just graduated a class last week. But anytime, if you're local and interested in volunteering, please take part in our programs. Check out our website. Tremendous stuff. I'm happy to welcome you here, and in a moment I'll be joined by another one of our volunteers, Kim, one of our 300 volunteer divers, and he will come into the exhibit bringing with him not only his sparkling personality, but something the fish really like, which is called lunch. And we'll have an opportunity to observe him feeding the fish and also to ask him questions. As we wait for Kim to come into the exhibit, and we'll wait for him to get his equipment squared away before we talk to him, let me tell you a little bit about this kelp forest habitat. You may have noticed that all our exhibits here at the aquarium are organized by habitat, not by species. Anybody here know what a habitat is, perchance? Yes, sir. It's a place where you live, an environment, exactly. It's a neighborhood, a community where plants and animals thrive. So who here lives in a habitat? Anybody? That would be all of us. We all live in a habitat, your apartment building, your neighborhood, whatever. And we all are looking for three basic things. We want to find dinner. We don't want to be somebody else's dinner. And we want to be part of a family, a community. We want to be in a relationship. So it is that this kelp forest habitat is a tremendously lush, productive habitat for all kinds of animals. We're going to wait till Kim talks to us, so just listen to me about kelp here. This plant here, kelp, we're very proud we were the first aquarium ever to grow this plant live inside an exhibit. Most aquariums have to use plastic. But we thought to ourselves, okay, what does this plant need to survive and thrive? Any ideas? What would this plant need? Yes. It needs water, good water. All of our exhibits, our water comes right in from the bay. This is your tax dollars at work. We are part of a federally protected national marine sanctuary, and our water's pretty clean. What else does it need? Sunlight. It's a plant. And so our exhibit is open to the sun, and you can go up to the third floor and see the very top of this exhibit. And you may have noticed before Kim came in that the water was moving. It needs motion because these plants get their food through their blades. They attach to rock, but they get their food through their blades, their leaves. And so the motion of the waves makes them get their food. And we promote diver safety, so we want this guy to be set here. We're very proud in California of our redwood forests. We consider them sort of iconic to who we are, sort of old and wise and beautiful. And the kelp forest is also, I think, a particularly California habitat. It's rich, diverse, incredibly diverse, and beautiful. And so we welcome you here to this kelp forest habitat where live all these different animals and plants. You know that we have live cameras here at the aquarium, so when you go home, we've got 8 live cameras. You can go home and you can see this program, and you can watch the kelp forest every day.
Deborah, hello.
Hey, Kim, how's it going?
You might have saw someone who looked like me down here just a second ago.
That was your evil twin, yes?
Well, I discovered my safety bottle of air was turned off, and I usually check that before I go down, but I forgot to do that today. But welcome to the Monterey Bay Aquarium, everyone.
So everybody say hi, Kim. So, Kim, tell me what's on the menu today.
Well, I think our aquarists do a great job, Deborah, for matching what our fish and other species find right out here in Monterey Bay, and they try to replicate that. Let's see if anybody knows what this is.
Squid, they're all saying.
Absolutely. And this is plentiful, usually year-round here in the Monterey Bay, and these fish just absolutely love it. And depending on the water temperature, because all these fish are cold-blooded, if the water temperature is up a little bit, they're quite hungry. And I would say, based on their behavior, and I'll check with Jamie, who's my dive safety officer today, check temperature, but I'm going to guess it's 52, 53 degrees. Jamie, are you listening in?
Sure am, Kim. Yeah, I believe right around there, 52, 53.
52, 53 degrees, and that mystery man there is our dive safety operator, Jamie. We have any divers in the audience today? So yes, do you ever dive alone? No, you always were trying to promote dive safety. So Kim has a dive buddy up on top, Jamie. Kim, I don't want to concern you here, but are you aware of the fact that you're swimming with sharks, that there are sharks right around you?
You know, you and I talked before. You said there were no sharks in here.
Sorry.
So I haven't
I'm a volunteer.
have there been some sharks around here?
Yeah, you just gave one a nice big piece of
that's the leopard
squid.
shark. You know, Hollywood does such a good job scaring the living daylights out of us about how mean sharks are. But, you know, there's like 400 varieties of sharks in the world, and we really don't have anything to fear. There's only about 6 of them that have ever attacked human beings, and usually we think it's mistaken identity. We're on a short surfboard and we're in a black wetsuit. We're not looking like anything unusual to them. In fact, we look like some of their favorite food, like a seal. So we really think most of the time it's mistaken identity.
So sharks aren't dangerous to us, you're saying. Are we dangerous to sharks?
Well, 2 things. Yes, I think sometimes the way we live on this planet really impacts them directly and indirectly, but directly, some of the things what we call bycatch today, not wanting to catch sharks, but we get them caught in huge nets or long lines that, you know, we're wanting to catch other fish and other species, and unfortunately for sharks, I think we're destroying like 100 million sharks a year is what I've been told.
So human activity, fishing, bycatch, other shark finning, contributes to the death of 100 million sharks a year?
Yeah, it's amazing. And, you know, for most species, they have to live, I don't know the exact numbers, but several years before they start reproducing. And we are just shrinking the shark population, which really, for the 70% of the world that is covered with water, is really affecting that habitat worldwide, I think.
Yeah, sharks are fish, but they reproduce sort of more like mammals in that they don't reproduce till they're about 10 or 15 years old, and then they just have a couple babies a year, unlike most fish, which have 1 million babies a year. So if we kill sharks, we're also killing the future generation. Hey, let's talk about some of the other fish in this exhibit. You know, I'm seeing some female sheephead here. I haven't seen the male sheephead yet, but anyway, I'll point them out. So what could people do to, you know, the mission of the aquarium is to inspire conservation of the oceans. Besides not eating shark, what else could people do to help keep the health of the oceans strong?
Well, I think we're all aware of the sad situation in the Gulf of Mexico right now, and our oil dependency is sure driving our, if you will, appetite for oil. And if we can find another primary energy source immediately, that would be great.